Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Brooke Roll. Alright, I'm going to begin a project today that's probably going to take a couple weeks to get done. Fortunately, you won't have to wait a couple weeks to see the ending. You'll have to wait a couple weeks to see the whole thing. And if you're watching it now, this is all done. So I know that seems a little weird, but let me explain what's going on. This is a computer I've been using for a long time. Computers have been a big part of my life for a very, very long time. It turns out I bought my first personal computer in probably 1986, 1987. It was an old DOS machine, it was an 8088 processor, 64K RAM, 20 meg hard drive, and a couple floppy drives. And I've had a computer ever since. They become increasingly important in my life because, they're my connection to the outside world in many cases. It's a source of entertainment. I'm doing all my vlogging. All that stuff requires a computer to do it on the level that I do it. And this one's starting to get a little old. There's nothing actually wrong with it at this point, but I've been thinking for a while it's time to replace it. And while I've been looking around at some of the local shops like Best Buy or Office Depot, they just don't have the selection of what I'm looking for. And the stuff that they have seems to be either people who need a very simple basic PC or some, geared towards some business or something that just needs a PC for accounting. It doesn't really go into some of the high-end needs that I have been looking for. So I've actually been going to a couple of the computer manufacturer websites looking for something there, and still even wasn't really getting what I was looking for. And then I heard somebody mention, well, you ought to check out Newegg. And I started thinking, you're right, Newegg. I haven't done anything with them for a long time. They used to be called Egghead Software, and I bought computers from them in the past and the likes, but they went completely online and they called themselves Newegg. And I started looking around there, a few weeks ago, and again a little bit this morning, and I think I picked out the PC that I want to get. Let me show you what I got. So this is the Asus PD500Ti desktop. Basically, it really looks like, what I was first looking for is what kind of ports it has, because I need all sorts of USB ports, I need all sorts of video ports, all the fun things. And I looked at a bunch of them, and I looked at one that didn't really go into the audio into things. You see, you look over here, you got input, output, and mic in for audio ports, and even do 7.1 surround through all this. Some of them I looked at only had a single audio out, and so that wasn't going to cut it. I also want to attach two monitors to this so I can have kind of side-by-side extended desktop kind of things. I think that'll be really nice for the editing of videos and allow me to kind of spread things out a little bit more. And this one had that. It had several different display ports, a bunch of USB ports, and I was also looking at what they have on the front. And on the front is actually pretty simple and pretty plain, but they got some cool stuff on top, which I thought was pretty cool, because you got the power button, of course. You got your SD card drive, which I'm going to need one of those because the videos I shoot on my camera go onto an SD card, and then the SD card has to be transferred to the computer. Well, that's the way you do it right there. Got a couple of nice little USB ports on top, including a USB-C port and a mic input. So this really seems like the one that's going to do it for me. This is going to be my first time experimenting with a solid-state hard drive, but I got this one coming with a 2 gigabyte drive, which will be nice. I got it maxed out with the most memory that I can get in it, and it's 64 gigabytes. All right, so we got that taken care of. I placed the order for it, and the computer will be here at least by next week at this time. So I was hoping it would be here in time while I'm still off. I'm off on a maintenance interval at work, so I don't have to go to work for another 10 days or so. And so I was kind of hoping it would be here before I got back off maintenance intervals so that I could put this thing together. And it looks like at very least it'll be here, or at best it'll be here by Saturday, and worst case scenario next Tuesday. So that shouldn't be too bad. That'll still give me a couple days to get it it put together. But I'm not stopping at just the computer. This is going to be a brand new machine top to bottom, and that means I'm replacing the monitors, I'm replacing the desk. You may recall recently I had a problem with the USB hub, so I want to replace the USB hub and maybe all the USB drives I got hanging on it. I got to see what my options are there, but I definitely want to clean that whole thing up. The desk it's holding up, but I've had it since I was in my 20s, and it's seen a lot of wear and tear. And the truth is, I kind of use it for a place just to store things, and I want to kind of clean things up a little bit. So I also want to go out and look at monitors, and I'm going to probably do that today. I'll go over to Best Buy for them because they seem to have a decent selection of things, and we'll see what they have. Maybe we'll go over to Walmart, see what they have, because they tend to have a decent selection of monitors and stuff too. So I think that's the next step we're going to do, is go over and look at that, and we may go over and look at some computer furniture too. All right, I'm back from Best Buy. I also visited the Office Depot, which is right next to it. Both of them kind of have computer monitors and stuff, and the truth is I wasn't really impressed with what I saw at either of the stores. Now, like I said a little earlier, I'm also planning on replacing the desk. So part of the reason I wanted to go over to Office Depot is they also tend to have some office furniture over there. But I have to admit, I didn't really see anything in either of the cases that I really liked. There's some things that I thought would have been cool if they were designed a little bit differently, but basically I want just kind of a good sized desk, kind of similar to the size I have, maybe a little larger, but something a little bit more modern looking. And a lot of the things that they had that I thought were kind of modern looking weren't large enough, or just seemed like they weren't very well built. I also went over to Bob Mills Furniture. I bought like the furniture for the guest bedroom and my new dresser and stuff over there. I thought that might be a little out of his lane, but yeah, it turned out it was. So couldn't really get anything there. But I think what we're going to do is end this video today at this point, and I'll pick up in next scene when the computer actually comes and when we unbox that. So I'll catch up with you then. All right, about a week has passed, and this thing finally arrived this morning. It was actually, the original estimate was it might have arrived as early as last Friday or as late as yesterday, which was Monday. But at the end of the day, I got a message saying, no, sorry, it's delayed. It'll be here somewhere between 2 and 6 today on Tuesday. Well, it showed up about 10 o'clock. So, yeah, I don't know. They don't seem to be able to get their act together, but whatever. Bad boys here. Let's get this thing out of the box and let's start putting it together. So there it is in all its glory. Thing of beauty is a joy forever. Now, I actually spent a bunch of time picking out this machine because it isn't as easy to find something like this with the capabilities that this unit has, and get it not looking goofy. This is actually a pretty typical configuration for like a gaming system, because what I need on my computer and what you need in a gaming system are there's a lot of overlap, let's just say, and one of the things that tends to be the difference, though, between a system like this and a gaming system is the gaming systems tend to have all sorts of goofy lights on them and stuff like that, and glass cases so you can see the inner workings of the box, and neon on the outside. And I'm sorry, I'm not looking for my computer to be an art piece. I just want it to look decent and be kind of non-assuming, something you can kind of ignore. And this is something you can ignore. But I also had to look at all the features too. And the audio in the back here, a lot of times these audio plugs are only like a mic in and like a audio out for like speakers or something like that. This one's actually capable of doing like 5.1, which I'm not going to do, but I can also set it for line in, line out, so I can like plug analog devices into it and record digitally. It has a whole bunch of USB ports of all different sizes and types. It's got dual monitor support, which is what I want, because I'm actually going to have two monitors side by side, and I'm going to extend the desktop so that it's going to be really nice for spreading things out when I'm like doing video editing, stuff like that. And then on top of it also, on the top of the machine, there's also additional ports here, a couple of different USB ports, an SD card port, which is great because I need that for my, for my videos, because all of my videos from the camera are on an SD card. And then of course the power switch is up here, and it's perfect up here because what I'll often do is I'll set my camera on top of the computer, and so it's a nice perfect place to do that. It looks like we get some good air ventilation here. This also is kind of a cool machine. This is going to be the first time I'm experimenting with a solid state hard drive. Hard drives in the past have always been a spinning disc, and it has a little magnetic head that flies over the surface of it and picks up the little magnetic fields. The problem with a regular hard drive is that they tend to fail over time because all it takes is one little bump and the head crashes into the platter, and all of a sudden you get sector errors on your disk. This thing is a hard drive that has no moving parts, so it should be more reliable. Hopefully it won't have any bugs. It's relatively new technology, but it's been doing very well. It kind of works on the same way as like a flash disk, like a thumb drive or something. But this one here has a terabyte of space on it, so it's got more hard drive space than the old machine did. It's a faster processor. It's got the most memory I can put in it. It's got the biggest hard drive I can put in it, and this thing's going to be good to go, I think. So I've been thinking about looking at monitors actually ever since I bought this thing last week, and I didn't really find anything immediately, but I'm ready to go back now because I have a better idea, I think, what I'm looking for. So we're going to go pick up a couple monitors, and hopefully we can get this bad boy fired up today. All right, so I'm back. I got a couple of monitors to go along with my new computer. Got them all plugged in. This is basically what the layout's going to be. And when you have the monitors hooked up the way you can, I can extend the desktop. So while the desktop may extend here, it'll actually go onto this monitor, and I can just roll off on the other side here. So got this thing all hooked up. This is going to be the basic configuration. The desk is going to change at some point because this is just temporary. When I was out looking at monitors, I was also looking at at some desks, and I got some ideas how I want to do that. One of the things I want to do is I don't want to have the stands on the table. That's taking up space. But what you can do is you can mount these things on the wall or on a bracket, kind of similar to the way they mount flat screen TVs. And by doing that, you can get rid of all the base and all this, and it'll just be on the wall and take up a lot less floor plan on the desk here, which is important. We want to have the desk big enough to hold on to all this stuff. But we got this thing all hooked up. I'm going to try turning it on. Let's see what happens. In the electronics world, this is called the smoke check. All right, that's encouraging. We have the monitors boot up. We're going to just go through the setup here. This is going to take a little while because I got to get all the initial settings in here. Got to get hooked up to the internet, all that fun stuff. So I'll catch up with you a little bit when we're caught up and doing something cool. All right, we're starting to make some progress on this. I've gone through all the setup stuff, gotten the machine running. I've installed my own personal internet browser, connected to the internet, transferred all of my Adobe or all of my Microsoft Office stuff over. See, a lot of software these days is subscription based. I liked it a little bit better when you could buy a copy of the software and you owned it. Now they just let you rent it. And so I've done that for Office for quite a while, and get Word and Excel and Publisher and all the stuff that I use on a regular basis. And I already had a subscription for that, but I've been using an ancient version of Adobe Photoshop for like 25 years. It's a really powerful program. I like it a lot, and I've gotten a lot of wear and tear out of it. But it's really primitive. Like I said, it's 25 years old, and I finally decided with this new machine I'm going to actually update to the full Adobe package. And so that's Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Acrobat, and it's got Dreamweaver, which is my good web editing tool, and it comes with Premiere also. And I played with Premiere a long time ago. Premiere is a really, really powerful video editing software. It's very, very much like the Nero I use now, but way, way, way more advanced. And so I may end up putting new videos when I start editing videos again on this machine. We may end up doing it here with the Premiere, because like I said, it has a lot of abilities, and I used to use it even before I had Nero, and did some really great things, and I can only imagine the software's gotten better in the years since then. So like I said, I'm going to install a bunch more of this stuff on here, and let's see what's going on. Looks like Photoshop's ready. Okay, more time has gone by, and what I've been doing lately is just trying to make sure that all of my website passwords are updated and stuff like that. I ended up printing everything out so that I knew, what passwords are associated with what programs and all that. And for the next while now, what I'm going to have to do is begin assembling all this stuff. I got to move all the USB hard drives over to here. Get that all hooked up and running properly. For some reason, the SD card on top of the SD reader on top of the machine isn't working. So I got to look into that, figure out what's going on. Other than that, everything seems to be right as rain, right out of the box. So that's good. Like I said, got a lot of time now, just kind of getting all my preferences dialed in and all that, and that's just going to happen gradually over the next few weeks. I also want to replace the desk over here on the over where the computer currently is, because basically I'm going to retire the old system. This is going to become the new system, and I want it on a brand new workstation, so it looks really nice. But I'm very happy with it. It came out of the box. It was plug and play really well right out of the box, and I'm very happy with what I got. So I think I'm going to continue playing with this, and I'm going to end the video for now. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.